Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2021 Phi Beta Kappa Induction Ceremony. It's unfortunate that we can only have inductees and prize winners in attendance here today in person, but we are live streaming this event, and I'm pleased to know that your family and friends can join us through that format. Those who are watching online will be able to use the comments section to share their congratulations with you. We'd also love to hear where you're joining us from today, those who are watching the live stream, so please feel free to post that in the comments section as well. So now let's begin with the formal program. This is a little bit closer. Can you hear? Is this all right? You probably hear it without the mic. My voice is noisy. So we'll begin today with the formal program. The 234th annual meeting of Alpha of New Hampshire, Phi Beta Kappa, will come to order. Fellow members of Phi Beta Kappa, the chapter is assembled at this meeting primarily for the purpose of receiving into our society certain persons who, having been invited by us, desire to be admitted to such membership. I also welcome the family and friends of the inductees who are joining us online in the live stream. As this is a gathering of an ongoing organization, it is traditional at this ceremony to call for a reading of the minutes of our prior meeting, which occurred June 12, 2021. If there is no objection, however, I would like to dispense with the reading of the minutes. Is there an objection? Hearing none, we will move forward. Madam Secretary, are there candidates for election to be brought before this meeting?
Yes, Mr. President, and acting on behalf of the chapter, I place in nomination and ask the election of the persons whose names are entered on the agenda for this meeting, as distributed to those in attendance here today.
Is there a second to the motion to elect the persons nominated?
Someone can say second. Say second. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is a democracy, folks. Come on. It seems like it's unanimous. So the election of those persons whose names appear on the agenda have been moved, seconded, and unanimously approved. Now that you inductees have been elected to membership, we will provide an introduction to the chapter's policies and history. Before beginning, allow me to note that the Dartmouth chapter, Alpha of New Hampshire, is the fourth oldest chapter in Phi Beta Kappa. Consequently, the language and ritual may strike you as a bit archaic. Of the three principles, fraternity, morality, and literature, it might be useful to know that literature was used in the 18th century to mean knowledge, and then to regard fraternity as companionship in the pursuit of knowledge. In order that you may know more of the character and underlying principles of Phi Beta Kappa, I again call upon our Secretary, Kate Soule, to read from portions of our Constitution. Madam Secretary.
Thank you. So this is from the Constitution. Article 2, Object. The object of the Phi Beta Kappa Society is the encouragement of friendship, morality, and literature among students and graduates of American colleges. Article 3, Membership. Section 1. There shall be 3 classes of members: regular, alumni, and honorary. Section 2, the following persons are eligible for regular membership. A, any undergraduate who, on October 15th, though it's September 30th this year, of the fall term, 3 years after matriculation, and who has completed at least 8 terms at Dartmouth College, and who ranks among the 20 highest in that category. That's all of you here today. B, any student who at the time of graduation from Dartmouth College has an average standing no lower than the average of that achieved by graduates within the top 10th of those graduating in the preceding 3 years. Section 3, a member of another chapter who is connected with the college as an instructor, member of the administrative staff, or graduate student shall, upon presentation of his or her certificate of membership to the secretary, and upon signing the Constitution, be considered a regular member of this chapter during the term of his or her connection with the college. Section 4. An alumnus or alumna of Dartmouth College whose work since graduation shall be deemed as such a character to entitle him or her to membership shall be elected to alumni membership. Except in cases of unusual intellectual distinction, no alumnus or alumna shall be elected within 14 years of receiving a bachelor's degree. Section 5. Any person distinguished in letters, science, or education may be elected to honorary membership, and all honorary members shall be entitled to all the rights and privileges of regular membership. Section 6. In addition to scholarship, good moral character shall be a necessary qualification for membership, and any member who is found to have lost this qualification may be expelled from the society by a 4/5 vote of the members present and voting in an annual meeting of the chapter, provided that there be at least 30 members present at such a meeting. This is an annual meeting, but as you can see, there are fortunately no motions like that today.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Your election is in recognition of your outstanding attainments in scholarly activities and your good moral character, quintessential qualifications for membership in a society emphasizing academic excellence and the pursuit of truth. With these records and attainments in view, you are now offered membership in this chapter Phi Beta Kappa and admission to the fraternity's ever-widening circle. Before giving your pledge of loyalty, it is proper that you be informed more fully with respect to Phi Beta Kappa's history, ideals, and purpose. I now call on Vice President Susanna Heschel to give a summary of the Society's history.
On December 5th, 1776, a group of young men, students of the College of William and Mary in Virginia, met in the Apollo Room of the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg, Virginia, to form the Phi Beta Kappa Society. As described on the Phi Beta Kappa website, they believed that a new nation required new institutions, cultural as well as political, and they were committed to intellectual fellowship, shaped by the values of personal freedom, scientific inquiry, liberty of conscience, and creative endeavor. During those turbulent times of the Revolutionary War, they envisioned Phi Beta Kappa as a secret society that would give its members the freedom to discuss any topic they chose. Ever since, freedom of inquiry and expression have served as hallmarks of Phi Beta Kappa, though starting in the 1830s, the requirement of secrecy ended. In the Phi Beta Kappa Handbook, you will find a brief account of the early days of the society in Virginia and of the fortunate creation of New England branches at Yale in 1780, Harvard in 1781, and Dartmouth in 1787, which ensured the perpetuation and propagation of the society when the parent chapter in Virginia became inactive. In an address on the history of the New Hampshire Alpha, delivered at the bicentennial meeting of this chapter in 1987, Dartmouth historian Professor Jerry Danielle noticed that during the 1830s, students were turning away from the pursuit of intellectual accomplishment, and there was, he said, a gradual decline of debating in the social clubs, a corresponding rise in the kinds of behavior we associate with fraternities today, and the appearance on the campus of competing Greek letter groups who made no pretense of intellectual accomplishment. To maintain the high standards of Phi Beta Kappa, faculty members of the Alpha chapter at Dartmouth voted in 1845 in what Professor Danielle termed a small coup d'etat to make outstanding scholarship the primary criterion for selection. Their vote held despite opposition from the undergraduate members and was put into effect in the chapter's 1899 Constitution. Exceptional scholarship is the sole criterion for membership in Phi Beta Kappa. In 1914, Dartmouth College formally recognized Phi Beta Kappa as an honor society, which is why your induction into Phi Beta Kappa is noted on your transcript. The New England chapters led the way in the 1870s by including women and African Americans as members. In 1883, Phi Beta Kappa became a national organization with 25 chapters around the country. Phi Beta Kappa continues to grow, and today there are 290 chapters at American colleges and universities, and nearly 50 active alumni associations located in all regions of the country. Phi Beta Kappa is America's most prestigious academic honor society and a national advocate for the arts and sciences. Its members include 17 United States presidents, 41 Supreme Court justices, and more than 140 Nobel Prize laureates. To be inducted into membership of Phi Beta Kappa is a supreme honor and a tribute to academic achievement at the highest level.
I would like to draw your attention to the Phi Beta Kappa key, the symbol of the Phi Beta Kappa Society. The Phi Beta Kappa key of today bears the insignia of the medal adopted December 5th, 1776. The three Greek letters, Phi Beta Kappa, are the initials of the Greek motto, Philosophia Biou Kubernatus, which is interpreted to mean the love or quest of wisdom, the guide or inspiration of life. The three stars indicate the three fundamental principles of the society: fraternity, morality, and literature. And the index pointing to the stars indicates the high aspirations of its members. On the reverse, the letters SP are the initials of the Latin word Societas Philosophiae, which are in harmony with the Greek motto on the obverse. Above these initials, the name and chapter of the wearer may be engraved. The date, December 5th, 1776, was engraved on the earliest medals and indicates the time of the Society's formal organization at the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg, Virginia. A 1963 brochure on the history of the Phi Beta Kappa key uncovers the answer to why what was originally called a badge has become a key. The original badge, devised by the chapter at the College of William and Mary, was foursquare, with only a ring at the top to hang from a chain. But it was apparently an innovation at the Yale chapter around 1806 that added both an upper stem and what the brochure calls a lower ferrule. When first added, you see, the ferrule was iron, square in shape, with a hollow end, and it was designed to be a key to wind up your watch. Soon enough, of course, as watches changed, the lower ferrule became solid gold, and the key became symbolic, though of what is rarely said. All wearers of the key are thus assured that they belong to one of the oldest college organizations in this country, and the oldest college society formed for the encouragement of scholarship and the union of those engaged in scholarly pursuits. Now that you have been informed of the history and symbolism of our society, the formal initiation can begin. I would ask all of the inductees to please stand. You have heard statements respecting Phi Beta Kappa, its principles and purposes. I now ask you, in words first employed in 1779, and therefore venerable in the usages of our society, to affirm that you will, with all possible efforts, endeavor to prove true, just, and deeply attached to this, our growing society. And that in addition to this ancient pledge, that you do affirm that in all your relations you will adhere to the principles of the philosophy which the founders accepted as the inspiration of life, namely fraternity, morality, and literature. That you will earnestly aid the society in every appropriate way to attain the educational ideals as set forth by the United Chapters. Do you so affirm? You will raise your right hand and respond, I do. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. The heavens have opened for you, so that's great. Recognizing as we do the talent and worth which you have evinced, I now greet you as full members of Phi Beta Kappa, being well assured that it will be your ambition to maintain and perpetuate the traditions and principles of this ancient and honorable society. May you ever seek to promote fraternity, morality, and literature, the latter in our modern times embracing the liberal arts. I have the further pleasure of introducing you to your new associates here present and of admitting you to the goodly fellowship of members who, for 245 years of constant and consistent endeavor, have made notable the name Phi Beta Kappa. I shall conclude the charge in the words of the ritual of 1779. You all at this moment experience in yourselves the heartfelt satisfaction which I do at this, our valuable acquisition. Friendship herself, pleased with her success, now smiles at this addition to our fraternity. Let it be our joint care to extend the friendship which has ever been exercised by this society to these new members, that they may, hereafter, become veterans in her service. We will now play a compilation video honoring our inductees. All whom we have installed this afternoon are now duly enrolled as full members of the Alpha of New Hampshire and Phi Beta Kappa. It will be their right and privilege henceforth to participate with us and with all the Society's goodly host of members in all of the appropriate activities of our organization. This college is and should be dedicated first and foremost to the life of the mind. Phi Beta Kappa is a most tangible recognition that all of you join us in this commitment. It is my pleasure to turn now to the awarding of the Sophomore Prize. The Phi Beta Kappa Sophomore Prize is offered annually by the New Hampshire Alpha of Phi Beta Kappa to those students among those who matriculated at Dartmouth in a specific class who have the highest academic rank at the conclusion of 5 terms of enrollment at the college, completed not later than June of the 2nd calendar year following matriculation. I would like to recognize the following students as recipients of the Phi Beta Kappa Sophomore Prize. We will now show the names and photos of prize winners. ask all sophomore prize winners who are present to please stand. Please join with me in giving them a really heartfelt round of applause, those who are both present and absent. You may be seated now. I would like to now ask Kate Soule to present the report of the nominating committee.
So the nominating committee report appears on the back of your agenda. And there are very few candidates this time for office. Dennis Washburn here has served as president of the chapter for a number of years, and also Susanna Heschel, who you saw on the video, are retiring. So we have new candidates for president and vice president. So for president, we have Andrew A. Samwick, who is the Sandra L. and Arthur L. Irving 72A P10 Professor of Economics. And for vice president, we have John M. Carey, who's professor of government, the John Wentworth Professor in the Social Sciences, and the Associate Dean of Faculty for the Social Sciences. I am up to continue being the secretary and treasurer. Normally, we would have nominations for honorary and alumni membership, which are the types of members that I had talked about earlier in the Constitution. That takes a little bit for us to get together, and because we're having this induction early in the term with the hope that it wasn't going to be too freezing today, I'm going to defer those nominations until later. All of you who have been inducted, plus all of the faculty members who are members here at Dartmouth, will be invited to vote on those at a later time.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Are there any further nominations? If not, I would be happy to entertain a motion that the Secretary-Treasurer be directed to cast one vote for the entire slate. May I get so moved? Do I have a second? Mrs. Short, thank you. All right. Any opposed? No, then the motion carries. Thank you. Are there any new items? Are there any items of new business from the floor? The only new items of business that the chair has to identify are the following. And this is, you want to? Yeah, okay. So we now display an example of the Phi Beta Kappa certificate, okay, which our secretary, Kate Soule, has hand-lettered for each of you. Your certificate, along with new member materials, are waiting for you on the table on this side of the tent to be picked up and directed at the end of the ceremony. Secretary Soule also has a few remarks before we adjourn.
Thank you. Your induction today can just be the beginning of involvement in Phi Beta Kappa. One way to get involved is through the local Phi Beta Kappa Association, which is an organization of Phi Beta Kappa members located in many metropolitan areas, including Boston and New York. Through Phi Beta Kappa associations, members can network, attend cultural events, join a book club, or give back through community service, and in any case, engage in the spirit of learning for all of life. If there's not an association in your area, or even if there is, you can stay connected on social media. Join the Phi Beta Kappa LinkedIn group of over 30,000 members, and follow Phi Beta Kappa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Visit pbk.org, the website, for online lectures, events, and other ways to be more involved in advocacy. In any case, we hope you will stay connected with the Society by keeping the National Office up to date on any changes in your address or emails. There are some publications that will be sent to you, and they will be sent to whatever address they have on file, so if you update it, you will get them. Before I finish, I have a short video for you about the Phi Beta Kappa secret handshake.
Hi, I'm Fred Lawrence, Secretary and CEO of the Phi Beta Kappa Society. Congratulations on your election to Phi Beta Kappa. If no one has shown you the secret handshake yet, it's my pleasure to do so now. The secret handshake actually goes back centuries to when we really were a secret society, and the symbol when two members pass each other on the street was to take these two fingers, draw them across the mouth to say our lips are sealed. Well, our lips aren't sealed anymore. We want the whole world to know you're a member of Phi Beta Kappa, but when two members meet, it's those same two fingers clasped, and that's the secret handshake. I really look forward someday, and hopefully very, very soon, to meet all of you in person and to be able to share a proper Phi Beta Kappa greeting. Congratulations and welcome to the Phi Beta Kappa family.
So I will admit that I learned it slightly differently, which was that you go like this. I am not kidding you. And then you shake the hand of the person next to you with those two fingers like that. But it's essentially the same thing. And you try it with, your fellow members here, and, you don't have to be quiet about it. Obviously we're live streaming this to the world so everybody can know. So anyway, as soon as we've adjourned, the sophomore prize members, you're free to go. But inductees, you have one more important requirement to complete of your induction into Phi Beta Kappa, which is over here. You will see not only your certificates, but before that, there is a book. And that book is our Constitution book, which I mentioned earlier that people have signed the Constitution. So that's why you all got a pen. So you can take your pen and you can line up in an orderly fashion and sign the book. And then you should be able to pick up your certificate along here. And then at the end, there's a little handbook for new members. Now, anyone who is concerned by the fact that it's raining fairly hard outside, if you don't want to take your certificate, it's okay, because I spent quite a lot of time lettering them, and so I'd rather, if you have any reason not to want them to get wet, or any way not to keep them dry, if you leave them there, I will, in the fullness of time, which might be a couple weeks, make sure that they're mailed to you at your Hinman box. I was not necessarily anticipating this and didn't bring a plastic bag for everybody. So if you want to take it, that's fine, but if you don't, I won't feel bad, and I will send it to you just like I'll send it to the few people who were not in attendance today. So the president has like a couple more remarks, very brief, and then in an orderly way come across and at least sign the Constitution and take your handbook for new members, because those are much more perishable. All right, thank you.
Whenever I hear the explanation of the handshake, I have this weird image of people running around in colonial America going like this. I mean, you could do that all day. Eventually you might hit somebody who's a Phi Beta Kappa member. I'm not sure how effective that would be, but okay, now the script directs me to say that there is no other new business to be brought before this session. I have no agency in this script. So therefore, I will entertain a motion for adjournment at this time. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All right, so second? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
We'll keep
Do you have an
going.
objection to this? We can stay here for a while. Okay. All right. I assume that the motion has carried unanimously now. And so I declare the 234th annual meeting of Alpha of New Hampshire, Phi Beta Kappa, duly adjourned. Thank you for your attendance, for celebrating with us, and congratulations to the new inductees.
However you decide to get up, please sign our book.